November of 2009, I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic melanoma. I mean, I'd never been sick my whole life. I felt great. I went running. And then all of a sudden, one day I woke up and my body short-circuited and I didn't know what to do. And I thought, oh, skin cancer. That's great. I mean, that's got to be treatable. And he presumed to explain to me and my husband that there were no options, that treatment for melanoma hadn't changed in 25 years, and that I should get my life in order. And I probably had 3 to 6 months to live, depending on how fast the cancer was progressing. So it was a lot to digest. We started Googling and doing research, and because I wasn't ready to die, I was 45 years old. I had a 10-year-old son, and it wasn't an option, right? People survive cancer every day, and we were going to figure it out. So my husband and I are both analysts. I'm a market analyst. He's a financial analyst. We started looking at clinical trials, matching what maybe we could fit, because I had never been treated before. I found out that because my body was naive, as they refer to in cancer terms, I was not eligible for a lot of clinical trials. They wanted people that had failed out as a last resource. But I felt like I could help with something, because there had to have been a purpose, right? So we went to several top institutions, all places that we thought would have a treatment option, but they didn't. We did get a clue. A doctor had mentioned PLX 4032. It was a new treatment that was coming out of a lab. It was very successful with lab rats, and they were going to move it to a clinical trial for people, but they didn't know who was going to get it. And they were all jockeying, the different institutions, and they said if they got it, they would treat me. January 5th, called Sloan Kettering, asked them if they'd gotten the trial, and they hadn't. And I didn't qualify for anything. So we were a little devastated, and Mike and I started doing some research again and found out there were 5 sites that were under approval, and one of them that had been pinpointed was in California. So we started making phone calls to labs. Finally, a woman picked up the phone, asked her about the PLX 4032 trial, and there was silence at the end of the line. And we thought, bingo, we found it. Dr. Antonio Ribas at UCLA was starting a phase 1 clinical trial for PLX 4032 and looking for 20 patients. But how do I meet this guy, right? So I had the cell phone number of a doctor who had previously helped me out. I called him, asked him if he could get me into Dr. Ribas, and he was at a medical conference in Berlin, Germany, standing next to Dr. Ribas. I asked him if he could connect me. Within an hour, the doctor called me, set up an appointment. I was in UCLA 2 days after that, interviewing, basically, because you interview for these things, and they have to check all your vitals and see if you qualify. So we went in, met with Dr. Ribas. After a long conversation and going through several clinical trials that were coming into UCLA at the time, they were hoping to change the way they were going to fight melanoma cancer. And not only melanoma cancer, but maybe all cancer. So I did get on a trial for PLX 4032, which ended up becoming Zelbraf. I was one of the first trial people enrolled. There was 20 of us. I am a super responder. The trial started with, it's PLX 4032. Zelbraf is a inhibitor, which has basically changed the way cancer is being treated. It turns off the rapidly reproducing cell and allows your body's immune system to crush the cancer. Well, they said this couldn't last for long. It was just a short-term stopgap, and that it was designed to extend life for 10 months to 18 months until another trial came along. So the whole thing was the game of figuring out what you could do to keep yourself alive long enough until they found the cure. So we went through the process, and like magic, it worked for me. Didn't work for everybody else. And the hard thing that I noticed as people fell off the trial is there was no help or aid as to where to go after that process. They were out on their own to figure out, or in most cases, to die. You know, we're all the same. We want to do what's best. We want to give ourselves a shot, but we need the information in order to make those decisions. And too often, we're told that there isn't anything out there for you, or no. But 1104 Health, that was designed to help people see they have an option. Every hospital specializes in certain types of cancers, in certain types of therapies, and finding out and matching what is the best place for you and for your cancer is the most important decision you'll ever make your whole life. 1104 Health and the Cheryl app is there for you.